Wouldn't life be easier if I didn't have to pay for my poor choices? Well, hopefully you won't turn out like me. Stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Quite Mike, and on this channel my desire is to strengthen your faith, share the fruits of faith, and leave you blessed for the best. In this video, I'm going to share my personal mistakes that I've made in my relationships and how I've done things better. We aren't necessarily going to be digging up the bones of the past, but we are looking back in order to choose a blessed future. Let's begin, shall we? Mistake number 1, not setting or not having a standard. I asked one of my students from church if she thought it was sweet to receive roses from a random guy on Valentine's Day. She said, yeah. So I jokingly responded, well, what if he was a jerk? Would the roses still be special? What if he was a creep? Acts can be expressions of love or admiration, but really it's an outward demonstration of character. When we set our standards, it's about knowing the kind of character your love interest has. What kind of person is he or she when things go wrong? When things don't go his or her way? How does he or she work together with you to solve different levels of problems? Is he or she all talk, or does he or she walk the walk? I can dress up, smell good, give out all the roses I want on Valentine's Day, but if I'm selfish, uncooperative, and conceited, you wouldn't want flowers from me. Setting standards is observing, reviewing, and engaging someone's values and character. Being flexible is cool, but I like to know if my crush is going to stay here with me, or is she going to be so flexible that she's gone with the wind. Smart, tall, and good looking is a good start. Faithful, loyal, and honest are nice additions. Maybe a sprinkle of sugar, spice, and everything nice. Maybe it's difficult to be with someone not because they don't meet our standard, but maybe we don't have a standard that they can meet. I used to think I had a standard, but I had an idea, and then it got too idealistic. This just made me crazy, made them crazy. Now the standard I have today gives my fiance a better idea of who I am. Lets her know how important she is to me, and how complementary we are to one another. Standards. If we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. Mistake number 2, translating movies and TV shows to my love life. As a high schooler, I was embarrassed and too shy to ask my parents for dating advice. Well, partially. So I ran with the ideas that were shown from TV and movies. I got insecure and worried for not knowing how to woo a girl or how to impress one. Here are a few things I took away from movies and shows. Kissing on the first date, making a big speech, and being someone you're not. As a high schooler, kissing sounded like a trophy to be awarded, walk away with, and tell your buddies about. But in reality, you could even reserve a kiss on the lips till marriage, between the two of you. No added pressure to have your first kiss so fast. It's not mandatory in your courtship or dating scene. It seems cool and exciting in the moment, but in the end, if marriage is the end game, my spouse is the only person I'm concerned with kissing. In regards to confessing feelings, the movie shows the guy looking into her eye, speaking this deep monologue about why he loves her, with the strings and synth playing. After it's all done, she just goes nuts. I usually get nervous, and I begin stuttering much and talking faster as a consequence. Based on what I saw in the movies, if I wanted a piece of that, I had to prepare like a short essay about why I like someone and memorize it. Yeah, it was too difficult to memorize, and I didn't want to read off a paper that could easily be a letter. If I'm confessing feelings, I just remember the main points of why I like a person, and be honest with her. Confessing true, genuine feelings is grand in itself, but if you can be sly with a soundtrack, by all means, you do you. Impressing someone by being someone you're not. It's acceptable to pick a new habit or try something new. Let's even say that you will join an activity to enjoy time with company. However, when it comes to faking it till you make it, well, that's just lying to someone, especially yourself. This kind of mindset just furthers insecurities and makes you less happy about yourself. These things may make a Hollywood movie spicy, sweet, hot, and funny, but in these things, let's leave it to the actors. It's storytelling and entertainment that doesn't have to be true to life. Mistake number 3, wishing we would last forever kind of mindset. This personal mistake is more focused on reality versus expectation, and honest truth versus a meaningful endeavor. Every relationship in its respective time, I believe that it wouldn't end, nor did I plan for it to end. Everything I did was to set up and give another reason to still stay together in the future. Forever and ever can be sweet, depending on who it comes from and what the intentions are. This is my personal mistake because life is unexpected, even if we get married. Unless one of us cheats, it is till death do us part. One day, we will die. We could die together, I could die sooner, or I could die later. The choice may not be up to me. Saying things like, "Our love will last forever. We're meant to be. You are the only one for me." Yeah, these are all endearing. However, these are not inherently true to life. We can last for a long time, but even we have to accept that our lives on this earth are temporary. The rest of our lives, by God's grace, is in heaven. Now that's forever. Mistake number 4, telling everyone our relationship business. We have friends and family that are genuinely concerned, but also have friends and family that can have gossiping lips and have slandering effects. To be honest, when I tell things now, I don't expect it to be a secret or to be confidential. I know there's at least one person that the confidant tells. I've made the mistake of spilling secrets. I know. So what I do now is I limit what I mention. Telling anyone and everyone about my relationships, from the highs, the lows, inner conflicts, and dilemmas, has a high potential of ruining the relationship. I've heard wise and sound advice, and also self-destructive and unhealthy advice. I've had friends and acquaintances influence mine and her respective decisions for the good and for the bad. It's not bad to share matters about relationships, but letting too many people have influence and direction in our relationships is an opportunity to be negatively manipulated instead of healthily maintained. The relationship is your business, and if you need help with things like communicating better, understanding better, and how to work things together, sure, many people would help. But it doesn't take a crowd of people to advise you. The world, nor does the internet, need to know all about the aspects of your relationship business when it comes to how to run it. All in all, advice and wisdom is good to receive, but also be selective what you share and who you share with. Mistake number 5, not asking deeper questions. Sometimes we think we know someone, but then we don't. This whole courting, dating, and getting to know each other thing is not just about how well you connect, but also how well you can reconnect after disconnecting. What are the quirks, the pet peeve, the possible hindrances, second thoughts, and shortcomings? What are some things that my significant other doesn't understand about me and refuses to cooperate with me about? Things like that. Yes, when we love someone, we love them for who they are. We accept them, whether as a friend, a boyfriend, or a girlfriend. However, when it comes to ultimately marrying someone, it's important to not only know if someone plans to stay with you for the rest of your days together, but also how he or she can manage to stay with you for the rest of your days. If I do ultimately marry, God willing, I marry without the need or even consideration of divorce. Despite there being legalities and options for separation and divorce, I'm not counting on it. It's not my plan B. Divorce is not my backup plan. If it's possible, why not do our best? Be real and see things through the first time, and just marry once. We may feel the love in the air throughout the relationships, but feelings change faster than seasons. Asking our significant other deep questions isn't about bringing out his or her feelings, but revealing his or her character. Character is the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Yes, a person's looks and his or her general impressions may be profiled and summarized into good and bad, pleasant and unpleasant. The character, on the other hand, is what will really distinguish this fish out of all the other fish in the sea. Unless you're like Jonah fighting with God and God sends a giant fish to swallow you and spit you out. There's that kind of fishing. Anyway, I give benefit of the doubt to special cases. But of course, if prevention is better than cure, if cutting off engagement is better than a cursed married life, why not use our time to really get to know our significant others? I thought an ex and I would get married, last forever, and the only thing we, or at least I really knew, was our families, favorite foods, and personal history. What we didn't know was the ugly parts of us that didn't work together, the non-negotiable values that clashed, and the differences in how we wanted to live life. Ultimately, I didn't know how we were going to work out, or work together to overcome the obstacles of life. My relationships, the official ones anyway, have been long distance, so getting to know one another is even more important due to the lack of in-person interaction and engagement. A friend of mine shared a list of questions with me that one can ask his or her significant other to help reveal some character. I'll include it in the description for you to check out after this video, and bookmark it. Mistake number 6, forgetting about God. I called myself a Christian, but you could also call me a liar. For someone who thought he followed Christ, I just used the word Christian as if it were my blood type, nationality, or race. If I really was a follower of Christ, does that mean that my past relationships were modeled after Christian values? Nope, and they weren't. Where are those relationships now? Finished and dead. I had girlfriends, but we all became exes, and I eventually learned that if I kept going the way I wasn't going to be worth anyone's time in marriage. In my college years, I was told that the relationship I hold between my significant other, God, and I was like a triangle, like an equilateral triangle. If you want, a love triangle. If you remember your geometry, an equilateral triangle is equal on all sides. So, if my significant other and I want to get closer in this triangle, we are also equally trying to get closer to God. Getting closer together and closing the distance involves not just me spending time with her, but also me spending time with God. In my case, if you apply these labeled distances, it's totally and especially relevant. For me, God and his principles that I take from the Bible, especially the New Testament, makes me conscientious of being selfless or selfish. When I involve myself in a relationship, I go above and beyond myself. I surrender myself. I prioritize someone else. I give glory and honor to someone else. I am held accountable and I have someone to answer to. Without God, I probably wouldn't even have a second thought about what I was doing, if it was right or wrong. It probably wouldn't be on my conscience to answer to anyone, be accountable for anything. And I could be self-centered. I could easily say, this is my life, my marriage, and I could do whatever I want and manipulate my relationships as I desire. Forgetting God may make me arrogant, selfish, and maybe even unfair. God keeps me grounded, and he also keeps me going towards a life worth living. Remembering God makes me know my place, know my role, clarifies my intentions, and gives me my direction. These were my mistakes and my lessons learned. I hope you found this video to be a blessing. Before you go, let me leave you with this prayer. Lord, our shortcomings are many, but your blessings and wisdom are abundant. May we love you with surrendered hearts so that you would empty our selfishness. Fill our hearts with love and purpose. In Christ Jesus' name, amen. If at any point you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you left me a thumbs up down below. And share this video with someone you believe would be blessed by this message. Question for the group: what relationship mistakes were you glad to learn from? Comment down below, and if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button to get more of this kind of content. And remember, don't just settle for life with faith, but grow faith with life. Thanks for watching. God bless.